recent months, IAS Tukaram Mundhe has emerged in Maharashtra as a food safety hero, with aggressive crackdowns on restaurants and food joints that are faltering. While he has received massive public support, he's also drawn some level of criticism. Today we sit down with him to talk to him about the thought behind the crackdowns, food safety issues in Maharashtra, and what he hopes best for the Maharashtra's food safety. Hi sir, thank you so much for your time and joining Forbes India.
Thank you.
So you recently joined as an FDA Commissioner in May. What was the trigger point? What was the situation that you saw that you are taking such level of action?
The trigger point was that I joined as FDA Commissioner. That's my role. So we identified our role. We discussed internally what is the way forward. To that, what we call in technical terms or even corporate terms, as is study and to be study. So we try to understand the situation by doing as is situation in food and drug sector. What is the road ahead? How to go ahead? And we finally decided upon a mission, and the mission is safe food, safe drugs, safe Maharashtra. So, and how to achieve that mission. So we formulated a strategy as well, and the strategy was we call E3 strategy: empowerment of people, then enable businesses, and third is enforce with the law. So we are working on this mission mode. We are taking action as per the mission mode approach going forward, following the principles, and means are to implement the act and regulations. That's how we approach it.
Yeah, what different you are doing than the previous officials, and what is your mission for going forward?
I don't think I am doing something very drastically different. I am just trying to implement the law. But however, in a mission mode approach, what we have done is identified the high risk areas, and we are working on that sector by sector. At the same time, what we are doing is taking action across Maharashtra in a particular manner. We are basically identifying area based on the complaints, grievances which we received either on phone, on mails. We publicize the toll free number to the public. Through that, public could connect us and give us the grievances or the issues which were raised. Later on, we shifted even to the portal. We launched the portal complaints.mahafda.in, and now we have good connect with the public. That is first criteria by which we take cognizance of the complaints. Secondly, the data available with us, we are verifying those data, analyzing those data. That is the second part. Third is of course whatever appears in the media or otherwise, and suo motu issues. So all these 3-4 criteria are applied. Evidences are collected, analysis is done, and then we decide, yes, this is where we need to work upon. While doing so, we do in a mission mode approach. That's why if you observe the actions in last around 2 months time, there are sectors we have focused upon. The first we started with the action against prohibited items, gutka and other things. That was the beginning. We followed it by hotels, restaurant, eateries. It was followed by milk and milk products or dairy and dairy products. Then we went ahead with school balanced diets for school children going to the school. So all these things were following in a mission mode approach. Our object is very, very clear that everybody who eats food, who purchases, that has to be safe, that has to be as per the standards, and if there are violations, we will come heavily on the violators.
But in the current scenario, is eating out for a normal consumer like you and I safe? Like, can they safely eat outside, or what are the parameters that they should consider?
Please understand, all these eateries are supposed to be having license, a FSI license or registration as per the categorization. So, and when they have license or registration, it means they have to abide by these regulations. And these regulations talk about standards and safety measures while preparing the food, while serving the food, while storing the food. All these come in picture. Now, we observe those violations or we get complaint and we inspect, and or we take samples normally also. What has changed over a period of time during last 2.5 months is, earlier most of the time my officer used to go, take a sample and test a sample and wait for the result. We are not doing that way now. What we are doing is, we are going and inspecting the places we think that they have violated or violating the norms based on this criteria as I mentioned. As a result, we are not just focusing on the sample itself, we are focusing on the whole regulations, whatever the applicable regulations and rules are there, whether those are being abiding or not, whether those are being complied or not, and any non-compliance, depending on the level of compliance, we are taking action, whether it is suspension of license, whether it is improvement notice, or whether it is warning, or leading to some cases cancellation of the licenses.
How do you decide that whether to give a warning or complete?
There is very objective criteria, it is not something subjective. Unsafe food means suspension forthwith, very clear, because that is directly affecting adversely the health of the consumer who consumes the food. And if there is a likelihood of health hazard affecting the people, we have to stop the business immediately, so that the public health hazard is prevented. So, that is where suspension or forthwith suspension comes in. If it is not, then it comes giving improvement notice that within a particular time they have to improve upon comply, and accordingly they will come again, my officer will re-inspect again, and based on the factual position and the legal position we take a call. The small violations we issue the warning notices, they improve, and we comply with that.
According to your observation, what were some worrisome things that you saw that people should know?
See, there are multiple. I think if I have to point out a issue, we should start asking the food which is safe and standard, not just tasty or so colorful food which is, which is generally अरे मुझे ऐसा खाना चाहिए, but we never ask for safe or standard food. That is where I think food habit of us needs to change. Rather than just for taste, you need to eat for your body and your mind. In that sense, this safety and standard is a transformation since 2011, because before that it was just a prevention of adulteration. Now that context has changed. Across the world, safety and standards are the best measures or actually prevalent and being practiced. Same needs to be done in India. For that matter, when we go for eating outside or order something food which is outside, we have to look at safety and standards. How do you do that? The first thing is that you have to know what are the ingredients or constituents in it. If you go to hotel, you ask, you are ordering something. So, you try to understand what are the ingredients and can you eat it, right from your allergens, that is prohibited for you, okay, this is allergen, so you cannot eat, that is one part. But what are the constituents, what is the calorie value, what is protein, what is it made of, whether the oil is either reused or fresh oil is there, what type of oil you are using, you can definitely ask these questions to the hotel and they will respond. Along with, of course, first thing is that you have to see that this is a FSSAI license FBO, you have to see the cleanliness and hygiene standards are expected there, and of course, on the menu card you see this calorification other values. So, if you really are this much vigilant on the prepared food in the hotel, that will one way to go. Other way is that you purchase something packaged food. So, rather than just looking at the expiry and eat before or pricing, that you need to look into. Beyond that, you should start looking at the constituents and ingredients of that product, when it is manufactured, where it is manufactured, what are the constituents, whether that food is applicable to me or not, because many times it is a misleading name are there, oh it is sugar free, but in the constituents you read it, you find sugar is there. It is written advisable not to be taken or consumed by students or persons below 18 years of age, or pregnant women or lactating women. It is very written, still you consume it. This advisory, please follow. These advisories are prepared scientific basis. These standards are based on science based standards. These are not something arbitrary. There are committees which are working, expert committees at national level. Those standards are prepared, those advisories are prepared. Those are meant to be complied both by FBO and actually practiced by the consumers. If that is the way we go ahead, I think this whole scary thing will not come into picture. So, that is what we need to be aware of. Food business operator need to abide by these standards, and as a regulator we will implement whether they are abiding or not.
That you mentioned, there are now e-commerce platforms and we have dark stores, and we have seen their conditions. So, they are also on your radar, right?
Absolutely, they are all FBOs are on radar, and particularly so because many times on the e-commerce platforms we order something, but we never look at where it is prepared from. It is actually a responsibility of the serving, that because when the e-commerce platform serves either packaged food or something, it becomes a FBO for me, it needs to be registered. And they have to have full information, whatever food, packaging or otherwise they are serving or selling, that needs to be prepared as per the FSSAI standards. That is the responsibility of that e-commerce platform or whatever the platform it is. That is why if you have seen last few days also, we have taken action against those, their warehouses are not good condition, the kitchens where it is not in good condition or as per the standards, and we have taken action against them also.
So there's also criticism that has followed with the good work that you're doing. People are saying that the actions are faster than they get a chance to explain, especially the people from the restaurant industry. So why is it so?
If you really look at the data, say in last 2 months around more than 3,000 odd inspection have taken place, along with other actions are there. I am talking about just inspections, of which only 165 licenses were cancelled forthwith, and more than 750 were given improvement notices. So the criticism is absolutely not as per the facts. These are the facts, hard facts we have to appreciate. And remaining, you were just given warning because they had complied most of the things, and they were let up that you continue as you are doing in good manner. So of 3,000, how much percentage it is? That is one. Only 165 cases, as I explained, unsafe food. The basic norms were violated, on which we cannot allow that food business operator to operate unless it rectifies the situation, complies with the regulations and rules. That is why those actions were taken in the public health interest. Otherwise, public health is compromised, and we are here to protect public health along with FBOs who are genuine.
Right. So you mentioned some numbers, and I think when we talk about numbers, these enforcement should not end up being just numbers on paper, right? How will you ensure that it is a long-term measure that we take?
The reason being, we have registration or licenses, we have periodic inspections, we have sampling method, there are complaint system is in place now, and this is going to be reviewed frequently by the authorities, right from me to FSSAI level, everybody is reviewing that. We have market surveys, we do it, sampling, we take samples, and that system is being put in place. In long term, we are going for automation of full automation of the department, so that we come to know some action is taken against a particular FBO, that will be on record. If there is a repeat offender, we can go for cancellation of that FBO also. So that has to become a culture of the department, that is a constant, there is a way to do it, and it has to become a culture of FBOs with compliance. So in that case, enforcement action should not be needed. That is what we are working towards.
Right. So you as a regulatory body can walk inside any kitchen or any dark store, but we as customers, if we go, like should we go and inspect that? I mean, are we allowed to do so?
Now modern concept is that there are open kitchens also, as you can see it, because once you want to enter a kitchen, there is a particular apron you have to on, your footwear has to be particular, you cannot take your shoes from outside to inside, because that is likely to take contamination. So there are some, it's a sort of a restricted area, but if you want to go, then it has to be with the FBO's permission and by following proper protocol of it, because if you do not follow, again that itself will lead to contamination or some unsafe food.
And you have not left legacy restaurants also, and you are not sparing anyone.
I mean, for me it is not either legacy, big or small, it is just a FBO. Yeah. And FBO are so important for us because it is affecting lives of each one, right from child to the senior citizens. And we have to ensure that the food served, prepared, transported, sold is as per the standards and safe. Otherwise, we are compromising on the health of the people, not only of this generation, but the future generations as well. If you really look at the data, health data, the health profile of India, after independence, we have reversed our disease burden, and now it is non-communicable diseases. One of the major reasons for non-communicable diseases is the food we consume. So, whether it is really the standard food, substandard food, adulteration or unsafe, or the food which you should be eating, we are not eating that, we are eating more of HFSS product, which is not good for the health. So, as a result, we need to work, as I said, on food habits, which will lead to better health condition and better health metrics for individuals, leading to better society and ultimately betterment of the country.
Right, sir. Talking about food industry, was food industry always habituated to not comply by the rules, or what has changed in the recent times?
No, we have to look in the context. See, and before 2006, means it's a 20-year-old act now, though it started implementing in 2011, but act came in existence in 2006. It was Food Safety and Standards Act. Before that, it was the Prevention of Adulteration Act. So, whole focus there was preventing adulteration, not the standards. So, food now it has to 360-degree change from preventing adulteration to making food which is as per standard and safety. Now, these standards started getting in place, notified since 2011, because once rule came and the standard had to be defined over a period of time. It is not a one day job, it is a dynamic process. Till now we have almost 22 standards, many more will come, they will come as food industry goes, because we have, as per that we have defined 18 kinds of food, but there will be proprietary kind of foods. For each proprietary kind there will have to be standards defined. So, these standards will come over a period of time. So, as standards go on improving, the compliance from prevention of adulteration to standard, it will definitely take a time. So, this industry, food business industry had to change themselves. As a regulator, we had to change ourselves. And the third important stakeholder, the public, has to be aware of that. So, all this work together will have impact on the whole food industry, food business operators, regulators and public at large. So, it will not be correct to say that they are habituated to doing this, but we have changed over a period of time and they need to comply and they need to do it faster.
Sir, coming to one question about Tukaram Mundhe, you've been transferred 20 times. What legacy do you carry every time, and what legacy are you carrying here as FDA administrator?
I don't know what legacy. What I try to do is basically being a public servant. Am I performing my role as am I expected? That's the question I ask myself. Whether I carry a legacy or not, that's for public and people like media to decide whether I have really contributed or not contributed. I will be happy to say that if I am contributed something and I have taken a particular position where it has impacted the people positively.
When we meet you next time, what would you hope has changed in Maharashtra?
I believe the best thing to happen would be that people start questioning the food they eat, the habits about asking what type of food. So, more vigilance on the part of people and extreme compliance by FBOs and regulation by FDA will be the thing to look forward.
Thank you so much for such interesting conversation. We're really grateful for that.